All right, now we're shifting our focus to some other stories that we're tracking very closely, is where fatalities continue to mount amid no signs of truce between Israel and Hamas. In fact, Israel is making sure to strangulate Gaza and entirely wipe out Hamas. Civilians have been forced to evacuate northern Gaza amid repeated warnings of an escalated ground offense by Israel. Crowds have amassed in southern Gaza near the Egypt border, crossing amid reports that it may be temporarily opened. However, Israel has denied that there are any arrangements for the opening of the Rafah border between Gaza and Egypt. The Israeli Prime Minister's office has also denied any reports of ceasefire, and as death toll continues to mount, more than 1,400 people have been killed in Israel. Meanwhile, nearly 2,700 people have been killed in Gaza.
On day 10, I can still confirm that there are still concerns of security in southern communities of Israel. Over the last 24 hours, there was 3 engagements in and around the border area with terrorists that attempted to attack Israel, including in Nir Am, Nachal Oz, and near Kisufim. We are taking all of the steps necessary in order to encourage the people to move south. We know that the situation is of concern.
This is an ISIS-like terror organization, and the response of the international community should be the same response like we did to ISIS. Israel receives an unprecedented support from the international community. We cannot live in a reality when those monsters live next door to us on the other side of the border. We cannot accept a reality where our neighbors are controlled by a terror organization worse than ISIS that is.
Now, India has been an avid supporter of Israel in their retaliatory retribution against Hamas. However, it is stories like these that reflects the support on ground. Venkat, an Indian citizen from Andhra Pradesh who has been living in Israel, has decided to stay on in Israel for help and support. My colleague Pradeep Datta brings us this report. Let's take a look.
वेंकट, सब डर के भाग रहे हैं, आप क्यों रुकना चाहते हैं?
नहीं, भागने डरने के लिए इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं है अभी इधर। अभी इजराइल की मदद करने के लिए मैं इधर ही रहता हूँ।
क्या क्या मदद करते हैं आप?
कुछ भी चाहिए तो बॉर्डर वाला कुछ प्रॉब्लम है ना, अभी वो लोग पानी देता है, कुछ ब्लड डोनेट करता है, कौन सा भी हेल्प करने के लिए अभी रेडी है, तैयार है। हम लोग जाने के लिए इतना कोशिश नहीं है।
आप कितने सालों से यहाँ हैं?
मैं 6 साल से हो इधर।
आप कहाँ काम कर रहे हैं?
मैं सुपरमार्केट में काम कर रहा हूँ।
सुपरमार्केट में? आपके घर में लोगों से परेशान नहीं हुए? फोन नहीं आता आपको आने के लिए?
आता है, फोन आता है, काम करता है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है अभी, बात करता है डेली।
हाँ,
वो लोग डरता है, हम लोग इधर इतने प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इधर।
लेकिन आप मतलब आपके मन में क्यों आया कि आपने इजराइल के लोगों की समय मदद करनी है?
मदद करने के लिए अभी कौन सा भी मदद करेगा अभी।
और भी कितने आपके साथ हिंदुस्तानी है? कितने
हिंदुस्तानी में भी ज़्यादा आदमी है। वो मैं उधर तलवे में रहता हूँ, उधर अभी में भी 500 आदमी है इंडिया का।
Now, the ongoing Israel-Hamas war has left a lasting horror in the hearts of the people living in these war-torn regions. Times Network spoke to a survivor who narrowly escaped the clutches of death during the Supernova Music Festival. He bravely shared his harrowing ordeal, recounting how terrorists not only took the lives of his friends, but also one of his family members. Let's take a listen.
Firstly, Mr. Buxpan, I just want to ask you about how this entire music festival turned into one of the deadliest terror attacks that Israel has faced in decades. What were your first thoughts when you saw the missiles flying towards Israel?
So first of all, I have just to say that I love India. I love your culture. I love the people. I love the food. I always wanted to visit India. And I'm happy I could share some of my thoughts and the things that happened in Israel with the Indian people. Regarding the party, it was around 6:30 in the morning. We were dancing, raving, and we saw, around 200 missiles just coming in. Now, the sad thing I'm going to say now is I wasn't surprised or afraid. too much because this is pretty usual. It was massive, but still, the fear wasn't there yet.
Right. And like you've said us that, in Israel that you're used to seeing missiles and sirens. When did you first realize that the festival was under attack?
So we stayed around an hour until 7:30. We were packing our stuff and we decided to stay a little bit more. And I always say the fate of the people was decided at that moment, because if you chose to drive out of the party as the first ones to get out, you probably died on the road. And if you decided to stay last, you probably got murdered, raped, kidnapped to Gaza. So we understood we were under attack only around 8 in the morning. We were on the way out after we waited in the parking lot. And this is when we started to hear some rumors about shooting. We heard shooting, but we heard about people who are getting hurt, just injured, getting shot. And then I think the chaos and fear had risen.
Also, we've seen visuals of people running amok in the desert area. So, and you have also filmed one of those videos. So what was the scene like? Could you describe the moment?
Yes, we were in the car. We just saw, we were hearing bombs, and guns and explosions. And we just see around 1,000 people, 600 to 1,000 people just running amok, like in the movies, like you see a zombie attacking a village and everybody's running. We get out of the car and we just run for around 20 minutes without looking back. You can see people fall, you can hear the bullets coming in, and we're just running for our lives.
And Mr. Buxpan, we've had reports of entire families being taken hostage, women raped, children kidnapped, and now we're learning truly horrific reports of beheading. Tell us what you witnessed firsthand.
So first of all, around 7 in the morning, half an hour after the attack, we called someone from a kibbutz next to us, Kibbutz Be'eri, and we asked him to come to his shelter and, hide from the missiles. He told us, look, there is a lot of problems here. You should drive to the center, to Tel Aviv.